After 3 years, or more like 2 years and 7 months, I finally beat Animal Crossing New Horizons, and this is the first of a new series I want to try where I pretty much actually finish all the games I bought but never really played. So we're gonna start with Animal Crossing, and if you enjoy, just make sure to leave like and subscribe because there are quite a bit of games I never finished. So I picked my character, and then I picked my map, and then started doing the usual. Picked a place for myself and my villagers, collected sticks, named my island, and then I catched as much bugs and fishes as I could because I wanted to get the museum as fast as possible. And of course, I was selling almost everything because bells are, kind of important. So I kind of just grinded wood, bugs, and fish until the next day when Blather showed up, and then I donated all of it. Except for the wood. You can't donate him wood. Now that I got the vaulting pool, it makes fishing a lot easier. So in no time, I had enough to actually build the full museum. And then of course I had to pay off my loan to Tom Nook. You crook. So now that Tybalt and Cherry, along with myself, have a house, you can kind of start seeing the outline for the plan I have for my village. Which will constantly be upgraded the more I get into the game. Because, the more stuff I unlock. And the more houses and villages I can add to my island. So the next thing to do was to build Nook's Cranny, which I need 30 wood, 30 softwood, 30 hardwood, and 30 iron nuggets. So I was pretty much just breaking every single tree and rock on my island, but then I still didn't have enough iron nuggets, so I used my free Nook Mouth ticket to go to an island to get enough iron nuggets, and then I found Nan, my soon-to-be third villager. When I returned to my island and definitely did not get stung by a wasp, I had enough resources to build Nook's Cranny. But first, I wanted to do the museum celebration, just so I can see how big my village is right now, so later on, when we have all of our villagers and all of our shops, we can see the evolution of our town. I put Nook's Cranny kind of close to my museum because I want this right side of my island to pretty much be where all of my shops are, like Nook's Cranny, Able Sisters, and the museum, while the left side is where all of the houses are, so I can have one big village to the left, and all of the shops to the right. Get what I'm saying? And finally, one of my villagers actually taught me how to do reactions, so thanks to Tybalt, I can now Looksmax. I wanted to connect my bridge to this little island in the middle of two rivers because I had a really fun plan for it that you'll see later. Tom Nook gave me 3 house spots, turning my village of 3 into a village of 6, but then I still had to grab the materials that Tom Nook wanted me to grab to actually build these houses, which was kind of annoying, but at the end, we got it. So I went to Nook's Cranny to sell some items, and then I saw that Mabel showed up, which means she's gonna come to my island, which means I can start working on getting the Able Sisters up, which is awesome. Or not so awesome, because since I'm gonna have the Able Sisters, that means I'm gonna spend all of my bells on unnecessary clothing, which I kind of ended up doing. Since I have 2 free houses, I went to a Nook Mile Island and found Tangy, an actual kind of cute villagers, so I'm kind of glad she's a part of my village now. But of course, I slaughtered this island of materials. On the next day, something kind of weird happened. Tangy moved in already, but Nan hasn't yet. Oh, there she is. And now begins the journey for the King Tut mask. For some reason, I just really wanted it, so I pretty much broke every single rock, went to Nook Mile Islands, broke their rocks too, just to get that precious King Tut helmet. Wait, I don't remember getting a new villager. Who the hell are you? I don't remember inviting you to my town. Why are you here? You can't just show up uninvited, unannounced. We gotta do something about you. But anyways, Mabel is here, so now we can start buying some clothing to actually get the Able Sisters up, which would definitely increase the rating of our town, because the end goal is 3 stars, to get KK Slider here. Something I wanted to do was sell all of my fish and my bugs and my fossils all at once. My storage started getting pretty tight, so my plan of just selling in bulk kinda ended, which, kinda sucks. I still technically sold in bulk, just not as big as I wanted it to be. Since all 3 houses are filled, even though one of them is Filbert, that means Tom Nook can actually upgrade his little tent into the full town hall. By this time, I've been to 7 islands, and I only acquired 4 pieces of gold, which means I just need 1 more for my beloved King Tut mask. And luckily, one of my friends who was also on his journey to complete the game had 1 gold nugget. So, after a bit of negotiating, I was able to buy his piece for 8,500 bells. which means I got the King Tut mask, baby. Let's go! And then I hung it up on my wall to never be used again. Mabel showed up again, so I bought some stuff to actually get the Able sisters. And then Tybalt taught me how to Mew again. Just like what I did for Nook's Cranny, I also put the Able sisters kind of close to the museum to have this little, shop section. I mentioned it earlier, but having the Able sisters here is really going to make my village look a lot better. And also I can spend all of my bells on outfits. During the celebration of the Able Sisters opening, you can actually see how large our village has grown since we opened up the museum. And pretty soon, our village is going to get much, much bigger. It's finally time to actually start the plan I have for this little middle island. I ended up going to Nook's Cranny and just buying a bunch of flowers. Because I want to fill this tiny island with just full of flowers. Because, well, one, having a lot of flowers on your island helps with your rating points. And two, it just looks kind of cool. Tom Nook gave me this little tent to place down, so once I did that, I actually decided to start turning my village into an actual village by placing down pathways. It has a lot of work, but in time it'll look good. Trust. Filbert decided to teach me how to cry. Very interesting. Also, Kid joined my island. Now that Kid has a house, it's finally time to start Project K. So I did a little bit of work in my village, actually making the path look just a lot better. And also, all of my flowers are grown, so the village is really coming out nice. But since we're on Project K, we gotta actually start making our island, better for KK Slider to show up. So the star system works on a point system, so I bought another bridge to get an extra 30 points. And then I also wanted to get 8 different villagers to get even more points. But because of all the houses I need and the bridge I'm making, I am having a serious problem with bells. And my solution? Money trees. If you find a yellow dot in the ground, dig it up, and then plant 10,000, in a couple days, you'll get 30,000 bells. So I kind of just abused that system to get enough bells to actually just finish the bridge, build more houses, and then I dumped all of my money into this log bridge, so I'm kind of poor. And then for my village, I was kind of running out of space on this left side, so I wanted to build a stone bridge to connect the river to a different island. So now I can expand my village to 2 different islands, but this bridge cost 200,000 bells, so we're gonna exploit the hell out of money trees. But I still need 8 villagers to get 3 stars, so I kind of postponed the construction of the stone bridge to actually focus on getting more villagers. Randomly, this koala bear came to my island, and then when I went to a Nook Mile island, I found this little rat guy. So I invited him to my island, and then the next day, a duck named Gloria showed up. So I guess I have 8 villagers now. I told you we'd deal with him. Oh, and also our Nook's Cranny upgraded. Awesome. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure having an upgraded shop gives me more points to my star rating, so this really is awesome. Since Filbert is gone, we are left at 7 villagers when we need 8, but luckily in this 10, this guy named Dobie showed up, who's actually kinda cool. Definitely a lot better than Filbert. And with that, we have officially reached our 3-star rating, which means KK Slider can show up to our island. So, the next day, KK Slider appears, and his concert begins. And just like that, we have beat Animal Crossing New Horizons. Of course, there is still so much more to this game that I'm going to play. It just depends if you want to see it or not. So, if you want to see more Animal Crossing, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But now, we can check Animal Crossing New Horizons off the list. That leaves 7 more games to go.